So hello my dear friends and colleagues. Today outdoor spring is coming. Today we will draw outside plein air, and we will draw this small old hut over there in front of me. There I did a small little, just from imagination while I was waiting in the car. And let's do it on this, very cheap, I think 120 gram, and really not that watercolor paper, but we want to draw this here, and I think it will turn out quite good. So we use this whole area and start with the door, and we concentrate on the shadow parts. Not that we draw a door like we know this, we just want to draw where we see some shadow parts, some gap here, something to close the door. And there is another iron part here, and let's go down here, and then this gap is even bigger, brighter, broader. So then we have here the end of the foot of the hut with all these very old wooden parts. There are these, the blankets here, and so, and then the wood is going over these iron parts. As well here, it's another of this, and one is here. So then there is the broken part. Here's the end of the door, and there is a broken part and the step. I can see here a step before the green of the grass starts. And one blanket here crossing the whole door. And the window maybe starts here. And so in the next step I will take a brush pen, it's dark ink, so I usually start with the shadow, with the darkest shadows, the really black parts, so that I get a nice view of the overall contrast. And here I can see inside the hut because there is no glass. Let's Let's take a brush pen. Here it is, from Kuretake or from Pentel. I use both of them. And you see, when you add these black parts, the whole drawing gets much more interesting, much more dynamic. As well here under the frame of the window. And the gaps are very dark surrounding the door. And here we can see inside this room, this cabin. Some screws here and there, and underneath these parts here we have this big gap, and then we have the shadows of these blankets. As well as here. And then I will start, let's say, I will do just some more line work, and then we'll add some watercolor. Here and there, so. Here under the roof there is this old, for the raining water. Maybe you can tell me in the comments how you call this in English, this for the rain coming down the roof. And then we have some branches here coming down from the roof. Parts on the roof, as well as here starts the roof, and then there is a shadow between the roof and this raining thing here. And here we add the shadows as well. And underneath so yeah, and let's do another window here. And it's really important in this case to do fast strokes lines. So not doing this, so looking for details, because then all the dynamic, all the spontaneous things get lost. There is another tutorial online on YouTube where you can see all different kinds of windows you can draw with ink and how you can draw it. So let's do some watercolor. So we start here. These dark parts under the roof. And for this rainy part, I take this bluish part here. And so they can connect. And then more greenish part, please. There's greenish there. The grass here starts. So, okay, I think that's the first part. And now I let this dry. And so now it's dry. By the way, it's really helpful to learn these watercolor techniques, all these different loose techniques or whatsoever. In this case, I use these sketchbooks. I don't know the brand, just search on Amazon for craft sketchbook, and then you find the pack of two is about 17 euros, maybe the same, nearly the same in $US. There you can spontaneously work and learn how to draw on a loose way, of course, with this watercolor. So then we have here a more grayish, bluish part. Well, let's go on that we don't have an endless video. Oh, this is much too bluish. And there's a part here, so, and then we go back to more these brown parts here, and as well I take this for parts here, the door, so, and so here as well, more the bluish one. So that we get a nice variation in colors and not so uniform. This. Okay, now the roof. This is a funny thing. Let's say the roof is about half the height of this hut, because I'm sitting and I'm looking from down to upside. Okay, this is an old empty graphic liner. So it start here, and here these plants starting with their branches. So normally I would use here a dip pen to make these splashes, but we can do it with watercolor as well. So I take a relatively thin brush, and then I take some color, and here for this there are some green leaves here. So and then there is other more brownish parts here, so, and blue as well. So now I have to wait because it's wet before I go further on with the pen here. We can do some line work meanwhile here on the And the windows, some shadow parts. It's still wet here. I would suggest to paint over here, over this here. So nice and dark. So more contrast. And where are the darker parts in the roof? So maybe they're a little bit here. Oh, this is very dangerous that you don't overwork these parts here. And here here is the dark gap. Of the door. And the gray part, I need some, yeah, so. So I keep it relatively simple, and so you can maybe draw this easily as well. So a little bit more on the grass down there. So they are not completely white because there are no highlights in the and at this wood. So let's, this is dry, I hope. No, it's still wet. Then we add some more structure with the ink, but first I do some shadow parts here underneath. Let's try this with the still wet ink. So, and so that we also have a finish here, so that it is not in the empty space outside there. There is also a brush, green. To show you this flexible nips, I hope this is so. And then the parts here. So here we have very much ink, amount of ink, but that's okay for this shadow here. Maybe I also do the shadows here. So let's float it down, the angle a little bit. Also here underneath this one. Okay. Well, this for now. So, well, this for now. And hopefully it was a little bit helpful for you to get a loose, spontaneous style of drawing. And I like to do this, and in total it was about 20 minutes or 25 minutes. And without explanations, of course, you can do this in 20 minutes. So bye, hope to see you next time.